Okay, so we are live with Sue Ingram, and many of you will know Sue. Well, a lot of my clients know Sue because Sue speaks at our boot camps, and as well, Sue has done business bundles in Beauty Directors Club. But Sue, anybody who doesn't know Sue, Sue is an amazing expert. She wrote a book called Firewell, How to Fire Someone and Thank You. It's a best-selling novel. Book.
No, it's not a novel.
It's a great read. I mean, it is a great read.
Yeah,
but as well, Sue is an expert in how to handle awkward situations. And I just feel like this follows on perfectly from David's live, looking at sort of all of the scenarios with how to, like, you know, what's happening in the current situation. So Sue, you know, thank you again, because I realise how busy you are at this time as well. But do you want to just give a little bit more of an introduction into what you do and your sort of...
My background is HR. I started in HR about 30 years ago, working in the city, which is very fast-paced, fast change. We grew teams, we shrank teams, we did all kinds of things. For the past, I did then do motivational work with a long-term unemployed, so I learned a lot about motivation. For the past 20 years, I've been an executive coach and a trainer of managers and leaders. And I help people communicate what to say, how to say it to staff. How to give messages out, what actually to say to people. I wrote my book, Firewell, How to Fire Staff So They Say Thank You, because too many people were going into these conversations and they weren't going very well. When in all my experience and all my clients' experience, we had fired staff and they had said thank you. So even when you have those tough conversations, it's possible to get a positive outcome. And we have got some tough conversations taking place at the moment, some real, honest conversations taking place at the moment where there is not an easy answer by any stretch of the imagination. How can you gain as positive a result out of that as is possible? And that's what I'm here to talk about today.
Yeah, but I think as well, you know, there's not one person not going through it, you know. I am, you are. It's a different kind of thing at the moment. I know I've just done a live with David Wright, you know, and he had 700 emails yesterday. And it's, you know, the thing is that everyone's trying to help, but you can't be a true expert in a situation that's never happened before. All you can do is like offer your expertise to help that situation in a world and a situation that's changing practically hour by hour.
It is changing hour by hour, and I watched David's interview discussion, and it was very, very informative. But even he was saying, look, we're waiting for the government to announce. We're thinking that the government is going to announce this afternoon some measures to help staff who are being laid off because the business quite literally does not have the money. Not have the money to pay them. I mean, if the business had the money to pay them, you'd be paying them, but it, you know, the cash flow is just not coming through. There's still rent to pay, there's rates to pay. I understand that councils are talking about rate, you know, suspending rates for a period of time and all that kind of thing, but there's still, the cash flow is not there. So how can I pay money that is not there? And they had
and you have a salon owner who is as frightened as the staff, but the salon owner is the person who is, or the manager is the one who's supposed to be the one who's strong and guiding the team. But it's just a situation that is just so hard. So hopefully, what I was hoping, and I know this is what the outcome of this interview will be, that we can at least give some salon owners and managers the strength to be able to go and have that conversation.
There is an opportunity. Yeah, there is an opportunity here to come out of this with a stronger team.
Yeah.
I know that sounds a bit mad, But there is an opportunity here to come out of this with a stronger team. Whatever the business decision, whatever happens to the business, that there's a strong team. If you have a strong team on the other side of it, you can rebuild something. I don't know how, and I don't know what it would look like, and I don't know, but you've got an opportunity to rebuild. So let's at least set this intention to come out of this with a stronger team, with a team that's come together. Because I've seen it in my street, you know, our streets all come together and we're all buying for each other. We've got a neighbour up the road who's in chemotherapy. So yeah, so, you know, we're all kind of putting things on her doorstep and ringing the doorbell and running away because she has to really be self-isolated and things like that. Yeah. We're all coming together as a street. There is no two ways about it. Adversity brings people together. There's a real opportunity to bring a team together. However, for that to happen, there's a couple of things that you as a manager need to do. And this, you need to be really honest and really transparent. Really honest and really transparent. What the situation is in a lot of salons and a lot of therapy situations is that the owner, the boss, sort of takes a parental role. You know, I just do what she tells me to do. I just do what the boss tells me to do. I, as a therapist, don't have to think too much. I just do what she tells me to do. I go in, I give great treatments, I wow my clients, I get great recommendations, they come back to me again, everyone's happy. Yeah. And you get a kind of parent-child dynamic that's going along where your therapists are kind of like children and you are the parent and you just say, this is how it's going to be and this is what it's going to do. Well, you can't do that, not in this situation. You have to ask your therapist to come up and understand the truth of the situation and be adult-like. And that could be a bit of an ask for some. In other words, what I'm going around about in a long way, you need to put the figures in front of them. Just get one sheet of paper, put in the money that's coming in every week, what goes out every week in rent, rates, salary, product, overheads, website and IT, you know, just broadly speaking, 6 or 8, just broad categories. This is what goes out every week. This is what's left. In other words, you'll be kind of disclosing what your own income is. That may be a surprise for some people because you're a boss. So they're automatically thinking that you're rich because you're a boss.
And all the money that goes in the till's just yours.
Yeah, exactly. When you and I know that as bosses, I remember I once worked for a boss, he and his colleague, they sold the business eventually for a lot of money. And I was talking to him afterwards, chat. And he said, do you know, Sue, there were days when Chris and I shared one sandwich. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, we pulled all our cash out of our pockets, and we had enough for one sandwich. So we shared one sandwich.
I think we can all identify with that.
Because that is the reality of being a business owner. So if you just do one sheet of paper, bang, 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 guys, this is the situation. I have enough money for 3 weeks. After that, I have none. I have got nothing. But I want to keep the business going because I want us to have a business to come back to. Because if staff are laid off, redundant, unemployed, and there's a recession afterwards, how are they going to get a job? It really helps all of us to think that, you know, we've got to get through this together because
we're in it together.
Yeah, because people's faces are going to be pretty grotty after 12 weeks of self-isolation. I was joking with my hairdresser saying, you know, there was a meme going around saying, pretty soon we're going to discover what people's natural hair color is. Because it's all mine, it's going to grow out, and it's going to be this.
That would be the next thing that you can't get in the shops, isn't it? It's going to be, everyone's going to be fighting for hair dye.
I was chatting to my hairdresser saying, I consider a cut and colour essential travel. Because I do. Because like, oh my God, you can't expect me to appear with my natural hair colour. The same is going to be true. Once it's lifted, you're going to get a rush back. Perhaps not as strong because, of course, people can only pay you if they've got money, and the economy will be down. But the only hope we've got is that the team will still be together and we can come back together at the end and go forward. So you need some transparency here. If you put financial transparency in front of them, then you can talk. What are we going to do? How are we going to get through this? Because we all have a need for money. We all need to pay food bills. Mortgages are suspended at the moment. Looks like rent might be too, question mark. Let's see what the government says. Do you know what I mean? So how are we going to get through this?
So would you do that as a team together?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Now, what you can do when more information comes out, and as David was saying, there could be some more information this afternoon about what is available to people who are laid off. Yeah. There is a term known as laying off or short time working, which companies can do if that clause is in their contract.
Yeah, that's the thing, because it's not this is what we were trying to say, every contract is different, and in the past having layoff clauses hasn't always been the best thing to have.
No.
So
it makes people feel very nervous. Are you not a secure employer that can offer me continuity of employment? Well, I'm not sure I'm going to work for you. I can quite understand it. But I was talking to an employment lawyer earlier in the week who was pretty much saying what David was saying, which was he pretty much thinks that the government is going to announce that you can do this despite no clause being in the contract.
So this is the thing as well, I'm sure, because obviously, as a salon owner, I always think that my team just think that I'll have some magic wand that's going to sort it all out. And I know when you're like saying about that they've got to step up, I think maybe it's that, because it like, I know my team just like think, well, Susan will sort it out, we'll all be fine.
This is this parent-child dynamic, that mummy will look after me. Well, when you're 3 years old, mummy will, but they're not 3 years old anymore. They're 32, they're 45.
But I think we're just used to that being this scenario.
Oh, yeah. I would love to be looked after. If anyone knows of a very handsome millionaire, just give me a call, please. But the reality is that it's not true. It's not true. Despite us wanting it, it's not true. Despite us wanting security, we do live in unsecure times at the moment. There will be some very tough stuff coming out. But this is when you are honest and you talk about the cash flow and you talk about the uncertainty and you talk about, I will do my best. I will do my best. My main priority at the moment is to hunker the business down, have it survive, so it's here for us to come back to when this is all lifted. If I just close the business, it won't be here for us to come back to. Yeah. So this is my main priority. This is when you can put this little, this little spreadsheet, this little list of money in, money out every month, difference. Yeah, the reality, this is the stark reality. Yeah. Make it simple, because there's a lot of things, but you know what I mean, like employment costs include national employer NI, because they don't realize what that is. Pension contributions, they don't realize how much that is. All that stuff, just put it all in there. Then you now need to start emphasizing what remains certain. Because in times of uncertainty, in times of uncertainty, we need to really concentrate on what's certain. What's certain is the building's still here. What's certain is we've still got a reputation in this town. What's certain is we're a team and we're going to get through this. Don't know how, but we will come out the other end of this. What's certain is that clients will come back as soon as it's lifted. They'll be desperate for facials. They'll be in there like a shark going, I need a facial. What's certain is that we're still friends. What's certain is that we can take this opportunity to do stuff. We can learn something. We can learn a language. What's certain is that there's going to be things continuing as per normal. Yeah, it will continue. It will come back. It will come back. We don't know when.
Yeah.
We don't know when, but it will come back. That is that.
I think as well, it's getting your team members to get clients to, you know, what we do, anyway, we book for the long term, but we say to clients, you know, really, we just need to make sure we've got all of your next appointments in, because once this is sorted out, you know, we're going to have such an influx of people.
With this strip of grey, I'm thinking of booking my hairdresser. I'm saying, like, first day you open, first appointment's mine, mate, mine, it's mine, because I go, you know, because yes. And to stay very, very close to your clients. So and video your clients. Don't send them official emails. Send videos to them. Get your iPhone out and send videos.
Yeah, I mean, there is a great thing that I use a lot with clients that I was thinking we should use with called Bonjour, where rather than quite often sending an email, I'll like send like a little video, and it's embedded, and it's not very expensive. So yeah, I think that's a great idea too, because it's the there's a totally different thing seeing someone's face, isn't it? It's
an official email, official sounding email is easy to disconnect from. Yeah, because I get them all the time. From my council, I'm not particularly pleased. No, I'm not particularly attached to my council.
Yeah.
But if I get a little video from Amy going, I'm really sorry not to be with you, blah 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 blah, and Amy just pops up every couple of weeks going, how are you doing? I'm bored. I hope you're not too bored. Something like that. I have still got my one-to-one personal connection with my therapist. And remember that you're not when you have got when you're into treatment, it's not just the treatment on the face. It's the personal contact, isn't it? We know this to be true, that there's something confessional, isn't there, about going into that therapy room, lying down, relaxing, having someone who can who's giving us care, love, professional expertise, a treatment, and a listening ear. So maintain the personal contact you've got with your clients, so that they're so looking forward to coming back to Amy. And of course, as soon as it's lifted, you'd be bang on there going, bookings are open, come in, boof.
Trying to get many in before is a good thing as well. There's in our groups, there's been some great, everyone's been posting little videos that they're sending out to clients, and Maria Mason, who has Beauty Time at Bristol, she's been doing some great ones, and then everyone else has been posting theirs as well and sending me like versions of them to check, do I look all right on here, kind of.
Look, don't worry, darling, you look fabulous, I'm sure.
But been going through a lot of things about, you know, all of the hygiene that's in place, just reassuring clients, but as well, I think for them just to see like a happy smiling face with the team behind and things, which obviously I can't do at the moment while I'm out here.
But it's normality. It's normality, and we are living in unnormal times. But there's a big chunk of stuff that's still normal. We've still got clients who think we're fabulous. We're still fantastic professionals with our expertise. We still have connection with our clients, and also it gives your staff something to do. It was very interesting because a friend of mine is organizational behavioral. She studied it. She studied and positive psychology, and she said it's very interesting. The whole thing about buying toilet rolls wasn't panic buying at all. It wasn't about panic buying. The whole thing about buying toilet rolls was people had to do something in order to feel in control. They had, when things were uncertain and out of control, they had to do something to give them control back. So again, you've got your staff now who are likely to go be sitting at home with money from somewhere, don't know where yet, but with money from somewhere. There will be money from somewhere. Exactly how and when, don't know, but there will be money from somewhere. It's very likely that there will be. Give them some control back. give them some control back. What I suggest is that if you can, you send video calls to your staff every week or more. You might want to set up video conferencing like we're doing here with Zoom, so that you're still in touch with your team. Allow that social bonding that you've still got within your team to continue through the crisis, through this time. Yeah.
So if we go into lockdown,
yeah,
how would you say that would be a good idea to have a weekly Zoom with all of your team? Now, if as well, and I've been watching obviously your shorter videos, and if anyone wants some more information, Sue's been doing these great little just 5-minute videos on conversewell.com, isn't it, your email?
Conversewell.com/coronavirus.
Right.
And then you can register up and you can get them all. It's free.
So as well, obviously there's the personal conversations to have with each team member as well. So if we can look a little bit into that, because yes, it's great having but I think as well, because we in general, we small teams in salons. We don't tend to have 100 employees.
These small personal teams. These are small personal teams.
So then you've got sort of, although everyone's got that personal circumstances going on, like we've said. So is it the manager, the salon, should they be having a one-to-one conversation, and how often, and what should they be saying?
Okay, you need to go where you are, but what I'd suggest is that you have one-to-one conversation. You say, are you okay? And it's not boss to employee, it's human to human. It's a human to human conversation. Are you okay? And this honesty and transparency around money and what I can pay and all that kind of thing. You need to let people vent off at you. They will vent off at you. Because the old reptile brain at the back, the small little old reptile brain at the back, is very panicked at the moment, and the reptile brain is very quick to get triggered. Poof! It's our fight or flight response. Bang! It's our immediate response, and it's panic, so it's firing off all over the place. Our logical cortex, this big bit of the brain here, is much slower to kick into gear. So at the moment, there's lots of panic going on. So if someone comes to you panicked, do not take it personally.
Yep.
If someone comes attacking at you a bit, do not take it personally. It's the old reptile brain just panicking a bit, yeah? Sit, calm, listen. When they'll sound off, calmly summarize what they're saying. So you're saying that you're really worried about your dad. Yeah, I'm really worried about him. Blah, blah. And you're saying that the kids are off school and this is good, and you don't know what to do with them. You're not a teacher. No, I'm not a teacher. I don't know what to do with the kids. What am I going to do with the kids? Crying out, Okay. And because being heard and being listened to relaxes us.
Mm.
Now, you're not agreeing with what they say by just summarizing. You're saying, so you're saying, so you're saying, so you're saying. So you're not agreeing with whatever they may come up with. You're just saying, I'm hearing you, I'm hearing you, I'm hearing you. And then eventually those go, oh. And then you can go, okay, so what are we going to do about it? Then you can start talking about action and what needs to be done. And the thing to do is to move them from this panicked reptile brain to this bit of the brain, to start thinking about what's in your control. What can you do now? There's one thing that you can do is to bring people back into the present. Do you know, at the moment, everyone's fine. Yeah, everyone's fine. At the moment, you've got food in the kitchen, the kids are okay, yeah. At the moment, and also remind people how inventive they are. Give them that identity. I know that you'll be able to find a way of entertaining the kids. There's, for heaven's sake, there is a ton of free stuff being thrown onto the internet at the moment. All kinds of people giving you, there was one on telly last night with a little toddler group, and she was singing songs in her living room, and all the little toddlers were singing songs in their homes along with her and all this kind of thing. I'm going, oh, that's brilliant. There are teachers throwing maths lessons up. There's tons of stuff. You will find a way of getting into a new normal.
Yeah.
It's because our normal routine has been thrown out. So support your staff in establishing new normal as quickly as possible.
You know what I think it is though, Sue, as well? I think, you know, when someone comes to work and then they've got a manager and a salon owner, then they don't have to be the responsible ones. Where once they leave work, quite often they are the responsible ones at work, at home. They're the ones
they're
who
the
are
ones that put food on
responsible
the
for
table.
the whole family, and they've got all of that. And, you know, sitting down and having that one-to-one conversation, they haven't really got anybody else to turn to quite often.
Sometimes if they're a single parent, they might find it very difficult because they've got older parents that are wanting to self-isolate. They've got young kids at home. I'm in the middle with a lot. Yeah. And so just listening. The other thing to do is if you can get onto a Zoom call like this or some kind of video conferencing call where everyone is on the call. Because this is your chance to pull the team together as a unit and then just go around the team and say, how are you? How are you coping? And have every member of the team going, oh, you know, my mum's driving me potty. You know, she won't even set foot out of the house and she's only 56, but she's so convinced she's going to die that she, you know, and I'm run ragged going around putting shopping on her doorstep. Have everyone tell their story because this bonds the team. And there's a lot of our social interaction that actually takes place at work. So when work goes away, all that social interaction goes away with it. And that's what we really need at this moment for our mental health. So little Zoom call, cup of coffee, glass of wine.
Well, that's it, isn't it? You know, like if everyone goes into you could have like a little wine party with the team thing.
Absolutely.
You know,
like if you have
night out.
Yeah, exactly. If you have whatever you have that's normal, repeat it. So for example, say on the third Friday of every month you go for a drink. Third Friday of every month you're on a video call with a glass of wine going, how are you doing, mates?
Yeah, but that gives as well the opportunity for someone who's quite quiet in the team as well. If it goes round and everyone just says how they are, even if like it just gives them the opportunity to like say, I'm fine, you know, but such and such, you know.
This bonds. This means that the team is still together. The next thing to do is to try and get your team to do as much as they can at home. Now, little video things from Amy going, hi clients, I'm here at home, I've got the kids running around, how are you coping? That's something they can do. 2-3 minutes, post it out to their client group. What can they do at home?
Yeah, because even with, obviously with GDPR, we've got like sort of regulations around it all. But even if someone did a little video
and sent it to you,
yeah, and then
you send out.
Yeah.
Little things like that. Try and think of, because that gives me a sense of control. I'm doing stuff. Try and get people into a routine as quickly as possible, so that the third Friday we're still having drinks. Every Tuesday, every Thursday morning when we have our staff meeting, we're still going to have our staff meeting. You know, you've probably got a WhatsApp group already with the team. You know, something like that, keep that going. Set the intention. If anyone's stuck in the team, if we've got any ideas, if we can help, we're here for you. We're together, we are going to get through this. And together, we're going to ensure that the business is still there for us to come back to. That's a key message.
It might be quite a nice idea if sort of, you know, if it does get to the point where it's in lockdown, that is it an idea to have maybe every other day sort of a catch up more on like sort of ideas for the business, and then alternative ones possibly like sort of just the how are you doing kind of
chat, just a cup of coffee.
So like, because otherwise in keeping them separate, do you think that's a good idea? Yeah.
I think that the key thing here is when we have a formal meeting, so everyone's called into a meeting room, okay? The meeting is important, obviously, but actually the most important thing is the chit chat before and after. So even when you have a formal meeting for whatever reason, you're calling everyone onto video for a formal briefing or meeting or update or idea session or creativity session, do not actually allow time for the chit chat before and after. That's what bonds the team. So say, look, we're all gathering at 10 o'clock. The meeting will start at 10:15. So grab yourself a cup of coffee. So people will be on their phones in their kitchen with the kettle on, and then call the official meeting at 10:15. But okay, guys, now we all need to sit down, and I need to give you the briefing. I need to talk about what we're going to do, and then do the social chit chat afterwards as well. I worked with a virtual team years ago, and we did this. We always had a personal update from everyone before the meeting. We set this in motion. We set this as an intention because we knew that we had very, very little chance to get together in person, and we wanted to bond as a team. So we wanted to know where we were. Fortunately, unfortunately, one of our members lost her mother at that time. And she really appreciated it because it was before video, so we were on telephone conferencing at the time, so we couldn't see each other. And so we used to go around before our meeting, just checking in, personal check-in. And there were some days when she said, I'm fine, I'm okay, let's get on with it. And there were other days, obviously with her mother having just died, where she was like, I'm having a really bad day today. I'm just going to listen in, don't expect me to contribute. And these kinds of things are so important. Yeah. This personal bonding, and it's what your therapists really enjoy.
Yeah,
it's one of the reasons they come to work.
Just going back as well, I mean, we had an incident this week. I mean, we never ever have clients being awkward or or nasty or anything, or very, very, very rare. But I think that's something as well that while salons are open, that something that as a salon owner or a manager you need to be aware of and make your team aware that they're not paid to take sort of somebody shouting at them or being.
This is where
we had a client come in who the previous day had been totally happy, left glowing reviews and things like that, and then came back the next day and was a totally different person. And I said to the girls, and the girls were like, "What do you know?" And they handled it fantastically. But then, one of the girls, I think, because it was just one step too far, then she ended up after the client went, in tears. But and I was saying, you just don't know what's happened in that client's life. The day before, everything would be going along fine.
All you know, that could have a vulnerable person already in hospital with virus. You just, or suddenly a major contract has disappeared in their own business. They've got no money.
So I think it's something as well. You just got to as well reinforce with the team that that the clients are their behaviour is going to be changing as well. Because everyone's just in this uncertainty. And it's
the thing to do is someone really, if a client comes in and really kicks off, the senior person in the salon needs to step forward at this point and just say something along the lines of, I understand you're extremely stressed. I understand that you are extremely anxious at this moment in time. These are all questions to which they will say yes to. Or I understand you're extremely angry about what's going on. Don't say about the service of the salon, because it's not the service of the salon, it's about what's going on out there, isn't it? I understand all of that. So connect with them by saying stuff that says, I get you, I understand, and that they're likely to say yes to. Yes, I am angry. Yes, I am angry. Yes. Okay, I get all of that. However, this does not give you the right to speak to people in that tone of voice.
Yeah.
We are doing our very best here. We are also stressed personally. We are also personally stressed. We're all coping with this similar stuff together. Does not give you the right to speak to the staff like this. Just state it calmly. No judgment in your voice. Don't put any judgment in your voice, because if you put judgment in your voice, they'll hit you back. It has to be neutral statement. Bang. Firm, but bang, just like that. And then I go, well, you don't understand. I do understand.
Yeah.
Well, yes. You know, we all have times of blowing up. I get it completely. We all have times when it gets too much for us. I get it completely. Yes. Well, it's all been too much for me, and you don't understand. This has happened. That's happened. And yes, I understand. However, you cannot speak to our staff like that. Or you can't speak to me like that. You can't speak to my staff member like that. You cannot speak to staff like that. Yeah, and then you might just get an apology. I'm sorry. You're right. I shouldn't have. It's just been too much for me. Okay.
Well, after that though as well, because when after the girls rang me and things, they rang her and she was totally different. And I said, yes, there's something obviously just happened, which we'll never know what it was.
Last straw.
I just think you've just got to, at the moment, there isn't any norm kind of thing. And it could be as well that, your colleague turns up, one of the team turn up and starts acting totally different. You just don't know at the moment. There's just so much going on.
All you can ask for is honesty, understanding, and some compassion. I was talking to one of my clients and he had a staff member came in late, and she's normally dead on time, and he was like, and she came in a complete tears, and he went up and said, are you okay? She burst into tears. So he called her in, had what's going on? It transpires that she has always suffered from high anxiety. And she has had bad anxiety in the past and coped with it. Well, of course, given these current circumstances, bang, that's been triggered for her again. She's like up there. So he's talking to somebody who's high anxiety. And then there's another part of it that's perfectly logical, saying, I've done this before. I've overcome it before. I'll overcome it again. I know what to do. So he's like, oh, okay. And he was sort of saying, perhaps you should go to your doctor. No. And then it transpires that she has a medical condition that means that it's a little bit difficult for her to take medication to relax her anxiety. He didn't know anything about this. This was completely new to him. So he's going, oh, okay, great. Okay, I get that. She said, but I've got things I can do. I've got things that worked before. So at the moment, they're thinking, she's going to attempt to apply what has worked before for her to recover from her anxiety. As I say, there's one anxious part of herself. There's another part of herself that's quite logical about it all. And he said to me, what do I do now? I said, stay close and be a mirror. Just be a mirror. Just be a mirror. Say, if she improves, if anxiety levels come down and she improves, then say, well done. If it doesn't improve, then say, I haven't noticed an improvement. And again, encourage her to go to the GP. Because the last time she went to the GP apparently was some years ago, and medication and drugs may have changed by then. So there's something here about if someone is on the edge of anything, it will be triggered off at this time. It will.
And it's normally with people that you feel quite comfortable with as well, isn't it? It's normally.
The way she controls her anxiety level is by doing an absolutely great job and being totally reliable. And she's not at the moment because her anxiety has taken over at the moment. It will recover. It will recover. It will recover. Just got to remember that. And we've got to tell her that, because when we're stuck in anxiety or panic, it consumes us and we think it's going to last forever. It won't last forever. This is only a moment in time, and we are fine. At the moment, we will.
I mean, in general, I've had so many conversations with so many salon owners and had so many emails. But in general, I do think that, teams do, they are understanding at the moment because they know that nobody knows the outcome or what's going to happen kind of thing. It's just everyone's living in that little bit of fear at the moment. And I think as things become more clear,
And it will
because
only be a matter.
I left the UK a week ago,
Yes.
and there was virtually, well, it's just over a week ago now, and there was virtually nothing happening at all. It was talked about a little bit, but like, and I've come here, and all of a sudden, the girls are telling me different things of what's happening in the shops and what's going on. Because to be honest, I haven't been, apart from watching what I need to, and trying not to get engrossed, because I'm finding that I can keep a clearer head being here and be more useful than getting engrossed in what's going on. But like in a matter of a week, practically, everyone's world's turns upside down. And I think, as I say, I do think that the more clarity becomes, and there's more decisions made, because at the moment, no one knows whether lockdown is going to happen, whether it's not, whether this is going to happen, whether that's not, and so nobody can give anyone any answers, and so I think everyone's just living in that
with
uncertainty.
I think in a week we'll be normal.
Yeah.
It'll be different normal, but we will have normalized it. I think in a week a lot more is going to be known. And I think that we will be in a routine at home, whatever that routine may look like for us. And suddenly we'll be a little bit more secure. This is why it's really important at this moment to stress what is still known and what is still certain. And I like your point, Susan. I think that there's huge social media stuff going on. Choose your sources of information, have them be real, have them be succinct, and have them be honest, and only check in with those. Don't get lost in the huge kind of swirling, rumor mill, dramatic story stuff that's going on social media. Choose who you're going to listen to, and only listen to them.
Because in some ways, I feel like I'm like on a bird's eye view above it all, because it's so calm here.
Which is lovely, Susan, and which is why you are able to do your job even better for being where you are, because you've got that dispassionate view almost, and you're not in the twirl of panic that is going around at the moment. But it won't last for very long. I promise you it won't last for very long. Give us 2 or 3 weeks and we're going to be bored rigid.
And and as well, I think once the government announced things about financial things, then because we haven't got any answers to go back to any of our team with at the moment. We just we know
the only answer you can go back to the team with is honesty, and transparency around figures. Because you've got to remember, if say you say to them, I'm going to lay you off and you're going to get this amount of money and this is going to happen. So they're going to love you, and they're going to go, yes, 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 to your face. And they'll sign a piece of paper to say, yeah, I agree to that. And it all happens, just like David said. Oh. They're going to go home and their husband's going to go, what? How come they're not giving you more money? They're the boss. They've got loads of money. They should be giving you more money. You need to give them the information for them to turn around to their husband, to friends, to family, and say, no, I know what the figures are. She went through it in great detail. The most important thing is for the business to survive so that I can come back to it when this is all over. Yeah. That's the number one. My job as a boss is to make sure that this business still exists in 12 weeks' time, whenever, so that when it all lifts and those rush of appointments come banging back in, we're here and we're still here. Yeah. If I go bankrupt, there's nothing for any of us. We haven't got anything.
But just from when I've been out here as well, as well, having, and I know at the moment it is quite hard when there's so much going on, but for a salon owner or a manager to try and get just a little bit of time away at the moment, whether it's even just to go for a walk or whatever, just to get some clarity in your head. This is what I've found being here. There's that, that I've thought of like loads of new ideas, loads of things. So if we do end up where we have to close our salons for X amount of time, it is time as well to, I do think it is a time of reinvention.
Oh
I
gosh,
do think, it's like, there's
you can learn social media. You can learn Facebook advertising. I'm going to learn Facebook advertising. You can get yourself on a tutorial and learn all this thing and get it down. I mean, this is a real opportunity. You can give members of your team tasks to learn, jobs to learn, things to learn.
Yeah, because the biggest, this fly is just annoying me. And the biggest problem that, as salon owners we have, I know, is that, because I just know from Beauty Directors Club, with the business bundles, there'll be people like say, I just haven't got the time. I haven't got the time at the moment. Now you have, that's the thing. And it's like, that's when you make
that 12 weeks will go by and I still won't have done my filing though. That's the only somehow I will always find something more important to do than my filing. But yes, when it comes to learning new systems, when it comes to learning new marketing, when it comes to, do go out and look on the web. There are my marketing expert, he's opened up his basic training for free.
Yeah.
There's stuff out there for free. Grab it right now.
There's a lot of the companies as well, the suppliers who are putting free online training. So, I think as well it is, I saw something that you said quite a long time in one of your videos, and I think this is key as well, is that if we do go into lockdown or have to take time out, is to get people scheduled into, so if there's an online training, that it's scheduled kind of thing that, for
that would be really fun, because people are going to be home and bored. They're going to be out of control. Give them something to do. Give them a sense of achievement. So one person could go and check this out. Another person could go and check that out. That will give you a reason for your weekly meetings. How are you doing with this learning? What have you learned? What have you found out? What's happened? So that they all come in and they share something and they talk about something and they say, oh, Sheila, you really need to come on this and that. And, so that there's some energy and there's something in here. Don't let people go flat, because if people go flat, it's going to be a real bugger to lift them when the salon opens again. If they're doing things, and if the team has bonded even more during this time, when the salon opens again, you will be prepped, you'll be ready, everyone will know what they're doing, they'll be in there, because when the salon opens, you want to come in and check equipment, clean down again, just freshen up, because it could be a bit stuffy if it's been locked up for a bit, all that kind of thing has to be done, so that when the first client walks in through that door, it is smiles, fresh flowers, smelling beautiful, we're here, and and bang, you're off again. Whoa, be fantastic. And that's what we're working towards. Yeah. That's what we're working towards.
Yeah. Oh, Sue, this has been amazing. And I'm sure it's helped so many people. I mean, this is, I am as well. JP's agreed, Jean-Pierre de Villiers has agreed to do something on motivation as well, which I think, again, is going to boost everyone up.
Yeah.
I'm also
what JP was going to say is going to say, get control back. You are in control. Get control back. And as a manager, you'll be good at that. Let's help our staff get control back too.
And again, this is being recorded, so you can watch this back, because there's been some amazing nuggets in here, and you might find as well that it's not, you don't need all of it at the moment, so play it back, because in 5 days time you're probably going to need different things. Oh, Connor's saying we have a question. Hang on, we have a question before we go, Sue. We've got a question. Wait on. Right, I have a member of staff who is particularly negative.
Okay.
How do you suggest dealing with this? If I was to go through the figures, it would send her into mass panic. I do have some reserves, but don't want this then lead to complacency in the team.
Okay. Okay. This is when, now it depends how you're going to give the figures. You might give the figures in a team completely, or you might give the figures in individually one-to-one. I would suggest team, because it's important. If you've got someone who's going to go into flat panic over it, before you present the figures, turn to her and say, Sheila, I know you've got a habit of being negative, or you've got a habit of looking at the bad side of everything first. Yeah. Talk about the habit. I know you have a habit. Don't say you have, you are someone who, the habit, because habit is something that is like a teacup. It's an object. It's not who I am. It's just a teacup. Yeah. So you have a habit, and say something that will get a laugh of recognition from other people in the team, because they'll all go, oh yeah, she does. Yeah. And she'll go, yeah. And I don't want you to panic when I release these figures, because up till now, one of my jobs has been to run this business, run it well, and make you feel good about things. Okay, something along those lines.
Yeah.
I need to let you know that I've been running the business on these figures for the last 10 years, and we're still here. Yeah. In other words, this isn't an abnormal blip. This is normal for me. I'm the manager. These are normal figures. This is what I do. This is my job. But for us to have an understanding of what's going on, and for us to make the decisions that we need to make, we all need to know this information. Then just put it up.
Yeah.
And when she goes into, oh my God, Sheila, you're losing yourself in your habit again. Sheila, I need to ask you just to take a deep breath and be calm, because this is normal. I promise you, this is normal.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing to do, because like the thing is that, the figures are what you've been working with for the last 10 years.
Yeah, they're completely normal. You know exactly where they are. You know where every penny goes and why it goes there.
Yeah.
You know those
I don't think people, the team don't realize you have to pay for the bins and all the different things in that. So you could turn it into in the past, I think it's been quite good, turn it into a bit of a competition, like, guess how much we pay for this, guess how much we pay for that. Maybe not this time, but
you can do that if you feel that that's right, because the fact that you mean you have to pay for all the rubbish to go out. Yes.
Yeah, £500. What?
Are you kidding me? No. I have to pay £35 a month to get keep the website up. That's 360 quid a year or something. You know what I mean? So this is where the money goes. This is where the money goes, and this is why I'm earning a wage off this. But whatever.
It's a good thing for the long term though as well, because then I think a lot of therapists don't know whether they're having a good or bad day for a salon. They don't know in a lot of salons what they should be generating and why they need to be generating that amount to be an asset rather than an expense. It's a great thing as well, just in general, to have where the team know all of what
good 80% of what the therapist brings in just covers overheads.
Yeah, because otherwise, because they see the money going in the till, but that's the only side they see.
I see a lot of money coming in, and they have clients kind of going, oh God, 60 quid, that's a lot of money. Well, no, it's not when you pay your business rates, your rent, and pay for someone to take your bins away.
Yeah. Sue, that has been amazing. Thank you so much. And again, I'm sure I'm going to call on you again soon.
Anytime.
Are you putting out these little videos?
Yes. It's every day I'm putting out little videos. If there is a question like the question that just came up there about negativity that you want me to answer, just send me an email and I will do a video on it, or I'll respond to you. My email's sue@conversewell.com. The place to register for the videos is conversewell.com/coronavirus. And you'll get free videos every day giving you tips and ideas and anything else you can think of. So do stay in touch, because it's we will get through this. We'll get through this different, and we can get through this better.
Yeah, and then I think it is a time to strengthen, because everyone's going through it together.
Yes, and I have a feeling that it's going to be stronger and better on the other side.
I do.
And I think that let's work for that. And we're going to have a lot of clients who realise how brilliant we are and how much they need us, because they're going to be at home thinking, oh my gosh.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sue. And I'll speak to you soon, Annie, but thank you so, so much.
My pleasure, darling. Take care now.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.